All right, Kendra, we'll see you in a few minutes. All new at 10, civil forfeiture is a policy in South Carolina where law enforcement, they're allowed to seize money and other things from people who they suspect may be tied to illegal activity. Tonight, there's legislation with bipartisan support aimed at making the process more transparent. So there's currently a case in the Supreme Court. It's calling into question whether the current system of seizures and forfeiture lead to abuse.
Fox Carolina's Matt Kaufax talked to lawmakers involved with the process. He joins us live tonight with what that new legislation is looking to improve.
Yeah, well, Cody, Tori, lawmakers tell me that one of the biggest issues right now is that when assets or money are seized in an arrest, the burden of proof then falls to the victim of that arrest to show how they legally obtained the money in order to get it back. In other words, a lot of people have to sue to get their own funds back, which just isn't economically viable with, say, an amount less than $1,000. Lawmakers tell me that this needs to be fixed, especially for people who aren't convicted of crimes in the end. Representative Seth Rose, who sits on the committee trying to change asset seizure laws, says he believes there is abuse in the current state system.
Citizens are having money taken off of them, and there may not even be the necessary requisite nexus to criminal activity, but their money has been seized, and they don't have the means or power to fight for that chunk of change back.
He also believes the system incentivizes law enforcement to seize money because they may ultimately get a portion, and sometimes money takes way too long to be returned or never is.
Obviously, we have a lot of people that are doing things the right way, but we don't have proper oversight over the funds.
The new proposed law seeks to stop roadside asset seizures if you are pulled over altogether and would stop seizures of money and assets if someone is not convicted of a crime.
Over 55%, or roughly 55% of the monies that are seized are under $1,000.
The new law would also establish a threshold for seizures and move cases involving them to criminal courts instead of civil. But Rose says he and other lawmakers want more. He's working on an amendment that says people doing the seizing need to have the burden of proof instead.
If money is taken off you or one of your viewers, I think law enforcement should hold the burden to say why they took it and that it was tied to some type of criminal activity.
He also believes if someone is convicted of a crime, money and assets seized should be moved somewhere other than the police department.
I think the funds should ultimately go back to the local governments for which these law enforcement officers work, their general fund. We did reach out to law enforcement agencies, Spartanburg County and Greenville County, to get their perspective on this, see whether they thought that changing the civil asset forfeiture laws is necessary, whether they thought that maybe doing so could impact law enforcement's ability to do their jobs. However, we have still not heard back yet. Now, on the legislative side, no vote has been made. They simply heard testimony today, so still a lot more to come on this bill. In Greenville, Matt Kaufax, Fox Carolina, the 10 o'clock news.